stuck? Are you broke? If so, why? Why haven't you made any changes to live the life you want? It all comes from your daily habits, your routines, your thoughts, your actions. What's cool is that all of this can be changed quicker and easier than you think. Follow the steps mapped out in the habit formula and start to change your life today. Go to thehabitformula.com for more information.
Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It's lunchtime with the Habit Master. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Aldrich, and I help people change their bad habits. When you change your bad habits, you change your life. So today is Mommy Monday. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. I have a couple stories to tell you in a little bit, but everybody's good. And today we're going to talk about enjoying the journey of parenthood. I was reminded of this past weekend, and we'll kind of get into it here in a sec. But before we get started with today's show, I want to remind you, if you guys have been following along with me for the past couple of months, if you're doing your Christmas fund, where you're saving a little bit every week so that when it's time for Black Friday to go out and catch all the sales in that you have some money in an envelope to spend, right? So you're not putting yourself in debt in 2020. Today we're up to $600 in your envelope if you're putting $60 a week back. Hey man, we're getting into some serious cash here, so make sure you put your $60 in your envelope. And right now I'm up to $600, and if you've been following me since day one that we've been doing it, I think we started sometime in, was it end of July or beginning of August? We're up to $600 now. And of course, if you find deals along the way, you know that somebody wants something, and you just happen across it, there's a special going on at Target or, one of the toy places or something, grab it. You got cash now. Grab it and use it and check them off your list, okay? Also, before I get started, before I forget, grab yourself a free copy of the Habit Formula book at thehabitformulabook.com. You can grab yourself a copy, upgrade if you want to really dive into this material, and make 2020, kick it off, and make it a great year. You can learn all this stuff in 2019 this year, and then really set your targets high and just start the year slamming, right? So today is Mommy Monday, and we're going to try to think of 5 ways that all of us can enjoy the journey together, okay? We get in our, routines, our, normal daily activities. You got to run them to soccer and practice and band camp and all this stuff. You got homework to do. You got to feed them. You got to do all this stuff. And sometimes we, all of a sudden they're 10 and you're like, oh my God, where did the time go, right? So we're going to talk about 5 ways that we can kind of slow down a little bit as a parent and really enjoy the time that we're spending with these little people that we created, and enjoy the journey as they grow up into adulthood. So I looked up the definition of parent today, and it said that a parent is the state of being a parent and the responsibilities involved. So I thought, okay, let's talk about the responsibilities involved. So not only do you have to protect them, right? So think of them when they were little babies and, they're real helpless. They can't really eat. They can't communicate with you. You kind of have to figure things out. To me, that was the scariest part of the journey so far, was when Noah was just a little infant and he couldn't talk to me yet. I didn't know if he wasn't feeling good. I didn't know if he was hungry or, because a cry is a cry, right? And, does he need change? What does he need? Is he too cold? Is he too hot? Whatever. Now that he's talking, it's a lot easier to communicate because he can tell me what's wrong or what's going on or what he's feeling, what's happening, and then I can react, right? I can respond, I can react, I can take care of the needs of my child. So, think about what responsibilities we have as a parent. So not only do we have to protect them, But we also have to educate them, help them with the knowledge, with the conscious mind, the thoughts, the ideas. But we also have to help them navigate through their environment, right? Other kids, other opinions, talking about the teacher and, how they're teaching them different, facts in that of life. And we also have to think about spirituality, religious beliefs. We have to go into, politics, opinions about things in the world of different people, almost forming judgments on different situations and issues that they'll be involved in at some point in their life, of love, of relationships, of friendships. There's a lot of responsibility for us. And the more I think about it, it's like, what did I get myself into kind of thing, right? I'm still dealing with this stuff myself. As I get older, I still have to think about my spirituality and work on my habits. How can I be a better person? How can I improve myself? How can I be more giving and more loving to other people? I'm an Aldrich. Aldriches are very stoic people. We aren't really huggy, feely, touchy people. And it's like I've tried to, being in the people business, working on people's mouths and, taking care of their health concerns, I've really had to bring down my defenses on being stoic and a robot and this is just how it is and all of that, and really warm up and try to work on my compassion. And I'm going to work on that every day until I'm not around people anymore, right? That's one thing that I have to work on, to be more compassionate, to be more understanding to people. And my journey through parenthood, I have to be very compassionate to my child, right? And that's something that no matter how tired you are, how, bad of a day you've had, right? You go home and it's like that little guy, that little girl is looking at you to help them make their day awesome, right? They want to show you stuff. They want to tell you how their day is. They want to do things with you. They want to color and have fun and play and be imaginative. And that's something that as a parent, that's our responsibility. We have to kind of flip the hat off and put a different hat on from our everyday working in the real world kind of thing, and jump in and get in on their level and enjoy whatever they're dealing with at the time, right? So we're going to go over 5 ways that you and I can help to relax, step back, and enjoy the journey. So I'll tell you a quick story. Why I chose this topic today is, so we went to Columbus to visit a friend, an old college friend, and she's got a boy that is a little bit older than Noah, but they're kind of the same type of personality kind of kids, right? And I knew, he's been around him before and they get along great. So I was like, cool, I can visit with her, we can watch the football game and, just have some good food and, relax, whatever. So we get to, the food's out, we're starting to eat, the kids are still playing, and, I think it's first quarter of the game, right? It's probably halfway through the first quarter, okay? And all of a sudden, Noah comes in with Griffin, and Griffin's crying, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And, he's bleeding, right? And it's like, oh gosh, what happened? So playing Nerf guns, yada, 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 gets hurt, busts open his head. Poor Sarah has to go to the hospital and, take him, get some stitches and all of that. So, Noah's a little shaken up. I'm like, look, dude, and it wasn't him that hit it. It was another kid. Hey, whatever. Accidents happen, right? So I was like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. So we help clean up a little bit, and then we take off to my mother-in-law's. So we're at the mother-in-law's, and we spend the night. The next morning, cousins were there, and I was like, we'll just hang out so you can play with your cousins, right? So they're on the four-wheelers, right, the quads, and they're going around, and I didn't realize what the rules that my father-in-law had set up for the boys, right? And they knew what the rules were. I didn't quite know. And anyway, they broke some rules, crashed the quad, and Noah came in, and his face is just like completely cut up, all scratches all the way down his face. He's got marks on his back, he's got marks on his side, and I'm just like, oh my God. So, what I had to do was I stepped back. My mother-in-law stepped back too, because one of the other boys was a little bit hurt too, but nothing major, right? We weren't going to blow things out of proportion. And it kind of made me take a step back and say, okay, what are we learning here? One, you broke the rules. And I think he was more upset about that than he was hurt, because it was just scratches and stuff. But he was a little bit more upset that his grandfather was going to be disappointed in him for breaking the rules, right? And all the boys were just kind of like, they were more upset about breaking the rules and getting caught, right? And getting scolded for that than they were because they were hurt, okay? So as a parent, I kind of let my father-in-law do his thing, yell at him a little bit, went over the rules, changed him a little bit, made him even more strict. And him and I, as we went home, we had a couple-hour drive back up here home, and, we talked about it, right? I wasn't mad at him. I was very upset because it could have turned out a lot worse, and they both could have been hurt a lot worse. So little scuffs and bruises, okay. But what we reiterated was the rules, and that the rules are in place for a reason. And I think, not scolding him for not obeying the rules was probably a good thing, because he actually learned them. He learned them from the good old experience route, right? All of us have fallen off of our bicycles. We've tripped somewhere and scuffed our knee, or we've fallen off the monkey bars, sometimes with a broken limb, sometimes it's just bumps and bruises, right? But we always learn a lesson. So in order for us as parents to enjoy the journey, sometimes we have to take a step back. So let's go over the first way that you and I can enjoy the journey, and that is notice the now. And what I mean by that is kind of take a step back, just like I did. What is going on here? This is a lesson type moment with the quad wreck, right? This was a lesson moment of poor Griff having his head busted open a little bit, right? Noah knew enough that, hey, he's like, here, we got to put something on your head and we got to go get some help, right? It was a lot of lessons that little guy learned this weekend. You have to be careful. Everyone's mortal. Everyone can goof up and make mistakes. And sometimes when you really pay for it and you get hurt, right? You have to notice the now. As a parent, we get busy, we have dinner to cook, we have homework, we have projects, we have, plus we have our own stuff. We got to get a workout in. We have to, be a wife and have some fun with our husband, right? And go out on a date once in a while, whatever. What we need to do along the way is, every day, just kind of step back. See how your kid's reacting to stuff. Say, oh my God, they're so cute, or they're, where did they get this imagination from? Or how are they even doing this? They're so young and little, that kind of thing, right? And that's where we have to take a step back. We have to notice the now. We have to just to be more aware of the present, because that's the only time we get. We don't know what the past is the past. It's already done. We can't change it. We can remember it through photos, through, video, that kind of thing, but we can never get that back, right? Especially with your child, they're never going to be 2 again. They're 2 now. If they're 2 now, enjoy the 2s, right? Enjoy every day that they're there. It's a growing stage for you as a parent, for you as an adult, for you as a mother, for you as a father, a wife, whatever. Enjoy the now, because we can never go back, right? And we can never live in the future. I can't control what the future is. All I can do is control what's going on now. So I'll get the camera and I'll secretly be taping them or, whatever, because I know this is hilarious. I'll send it out on Facebook or to my friends or whatever, and they'll just be like, oh my God, this is so funny, whatever. Capture those moments. Capture them in your head, in your memory, right? You'll never forget this stuff. And when they're graduating, at graduation, you can show a quick, bunch of videos of them when they were little and embarrass them a little bit and just have some fun with them. When they're parents and you're a grandparent, you'll have tons of stuff against them, on them, for them, all of that. And you have to notice the now, because we only have one life, at least in this physical body. If you believe we're spiritual beings and, we kind of leave our body and go wherever, our souls are released into the universe, whatever you believe, we still only get now. There's only one October 7th, 2019. Make the most of today. You're only going to see your kid maybe for a few hours after school before they go to bed, right? Before you're done for the night, you rest and then you start your next day. It'll be October 8th then. What did you remember of October 7th? What did you do now? What did you remember now? What kind of things did you do? So let's say that you guys are on the couch, you're, looking at your iPad, you're tired after a hard day's work, you're kind of winding down. Enjoy that time together. Enjoy the quiet time. Maybe play a little game with your child, get a deck of cards or play a board game or play a game on their iPad or something, or color something. Do something together that you can build a memory with, because remember, we only get now. We only have one chance for now, and make the most of it. Number 2 was something that I was very reminded of this weekend. Be thankful. The spiritual community really talk about gratitude. It puts you in a higher vibration. It allows you to receive things into your life because you're grateful and you're happy for what you have now. I think especially as a parent, you have to be grateful. You have to be thankful for everything. I'm grateful that my son didn't get hurt worse. I was grateful that he did make some good decisions about what he was doing with his cousins, but then I was also grateful that he learned from his mistakes. He learned, and we'll find out in the future, obviously, but he learned something that he can then carry on and go on and, act accordingly, right? Be thankful for all the stuff that we have. Be thankful that your kid is healthy. If they're not healthy, be thankful that they're as healthy as they are, that you have the opportunity to spend time with them, to do the things that you always got to do when you were a kid and things that you never got to do when you were a kid. Maybe you didn't have a lot of money back then and now you can do some travel. Maybe you weren't allowed to be in sports because of a physical ailment that you had, and now your child can play sports and you can live through them, right? Be grateful, be thankful for all the moments, all the fun that you guys have as a family, for the craziness that you guys have. Be thankful for the now. Be thankful for, everything in your life, because they're all blessings. And we need to make sure that we don't get caught up in things. Maybe your kid's being lazy and maybe they're doing this and they're not doing good in school or whatever. You know what? Stop the negativity. Back up. Take a step back and say, you know what? I'm grateful that maybe they're just not interested in what the teacher has to say. They're talented in something else. Explore that. Be grateful that they have other outlets, and then explore those outlets. Put your money and your effort into those outlets and see what your child becomes, because more than likely they're just not interested in a certain thing that's going on right now. That doesn't mean that they don't have interests or wants or needs for something else. So be thankful and grateful. Number 3 is constantly improve. Now, obviously, especially with kids, they don't know anything, right? We didn't know anything starting out. Even when you're doing a new project or learning a new skill set that you're going to employ into your job, into your career, we don't know what we're doing. We make mistakes. Try to improve every single day. Concentrate on the now. What can I do today to improve? So let's say that you want to improve the way that, let's say your bedtime routine. Your bedtime routine stinks. Kids never in bed on time. They're always tired at school, and the teacher's starting to say that they're falling asleep in school, and you need to improve that area. Guess what? Tonight's the night. You're going to get their shower. Let's say that you want them in bed by 8:30. You are going to get them in the shower at 8. They'll be out by 8:15. Read them a story, grab a quick snack, in bed 8:30. That's your job, your responsibility as a parent to improve. Let your child improve too. Make sure that they are going through different stages and that, if they fall off their bike, hey, we're going to try it again. Be encouraging, be supportive. That's our job. But we as a parent, we need to improve too. There's always something that we're not good at. I'm trying to be more focused on my son when I get home and my husband. I'm trying to give them my attention even if my day's been hectic and crazy and, all kinds of things have been going on. That's an improvement that I need to make, that when I go in, I need to put the blinders on and just focus on them. What are they trying to talk to me about? What are they trying to show me? What are they trying to include in me as a family unit member, right? Constantly be improving. Think of the things that you as the mom can be improving, and think of the things that your child can improve, and start the journey, right? I've got a book that's going to be coming out real soon. I'm hoping in a couple weeks. And it's the Habit Formula for Parents. It's the kids edition. So that's actually going to help you improve. So keep a lookout for that. Number 4, learn from mistakes. This kind of goes into the improve kind of thing. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody messes up. My son totally messed up this weekend. My nephews definitely messed up. It happens. Luckily, nobody was hurt. I'm grateful and thankful for that. Too bad they're a little scraped up and bruised up. But, it wasn't anything serious. Give your kids some room to make mistakes, okay? You obviously do not want them to get permanently injured or killed, right? That would be bad. But let them make mistakes. Let's say homework. I help my child if he asks me. If he doesn't ask me about it, I let him go, because if he gets something wrong, it's okay. He's going to learn from it. And the teachers at our school, they make them do the homework over, whatever questions that they miss, they make them do them over. They don't tell them what the answer is, or maybe they do when they're in class. I don't know. It's never marked on the paper that I've seen. But he brings it home and he tells me, okay, Mom, I missed this question. We reread it, and then he figures out what the right answer is and why the other answer is not correct. That's critical thinking. That's logic and reasoning. And that's something that we all need. We all need to be able to figure out problems and solutions to those problems. And sometimes it's just one solution, but a lot of times there's a lot of different things that are going on and that can solve the problem. So that's where our imagination and creativity comes into play. And that's something as a parent that we have to be in charge of, okay? Let your child make mistakes. It's okay. I make mistakes all the time, but I learn all the time. Every single day I learned something. I forget what I was doing this morning, and I was doing videos, and I completely muffed up the one. The words were going too fast on the teleprompter, and I couldn't read it all, and oh my gosh, it took me like 3 tries to do it. Finally, I got it. I was like, oh yeah, because I hadn't done one for a while, so I forgot how to, mess with the software. And finally, I got it, and then it was fine, You mess up, you relearn. Hey, it's part of life, right? But your kids are definitely going to make mistakes. And be supportive about it. Be encouraging about it. Don't reprimand them for it. I mean, obviously, if they're doing something wrong that could hurt themselves, yeah, you got to lay down the rules and the safety issues, concerns that go along with those. But besides that, let them hang out and make some mistakes. You don't want something permanent to go on, but you also have to take a step back sometimes and let them fly. Okay? The 5th thing that we can do to help enjoy our journey is give them space. You don't want to be hovering over them like a crazy mother hen, right? Ah! Don't do that! Ah! I'm telling you over here, that kind of thing. You got to give them some space. You want to see what their creativity and imagination goes. If they're, playing and they have their cousins over and they're making a play about something, tell them, yeah, go for it, see, let me know when you're done and we'll watch your show, be encouraging, be supportive, but you got to give them some space. Sometimes, especially when they get older, they're teenagers and they're not necessarily doing the things that you would want them to do. Let's say they've got boyfriends or girlfriends, and you know what I'm talking about there, and you think things are going a little too hot and heavy for their age or whatever. Sometimes, as long as they're safe about things, sometimes you got to let it go, because that's their journey. That is their life, and you can give them as much advice as you can on any subject, but at some point, especially their juniors or seniors, they're starting to drive, they're already making adult decisions. They're thinking about their future careers and, setting up their own job schedule during the summer and all of that. They're starting to have adult issues. Let them figure it out. If they come to you with an issue, you can give them your advice. But besides that, you can't do it for them. You can't live for them. You got to give them space. So that's something that, I will definitely be learning that lesson as my son gets older. Grandchildren, you've already been through this with your own kids, and now you're seeing how they respond with their children. Even that, you're definitely in the back seat on that. You can give them advice if they ask you, but there's only so much you can do as a grandparent. That's not your child, right? You didn't make them. You got to give them space to do what they feel is right, and for the grandchild to do the same thing. So I hope these 5 things inspire you today. Let's go over them. So 5 ways that you and I both can enjoy the journey of parenthood. Number 1 is notice the now. Be present. Be aware of what's going on. Enjoy it, make the most of it, and if you have to take a different course or something, now's the time to do it. If there's room to do something different, now's the time to do it. But you got to take a step back and notice what's going on. Notice how cute they are, how imaginative they are, how did they even figure this thing out? How's your brain working? What kind of ideas do you have? What are your thoughts or opinions on this certain subject? Ask them. Enjoy it. Now's the only time that we can have with them. Enjoy it, because you blink and they're off at college or living in their own place, and then you don't get to spend as much time with them. So enjoy the now. Number 2, be thankful. Be thankful, be grateful of all the wonderful things that are happening. You've got a great family, a loving spouse, children that are wonderful. They're healthy, they're productive, they're intelligent, they're creative. If they're not all of those things, that's okay too. Be grateful that they're alive. They're experiencing as much as they can in their life. If they have a physical disability or a mental disability, you know what? They're put on this earth for a reason. Enjoy it. Take a step back, enjoy the now, and be thankful and grateful that they get to experience this wonderful life that we all get to, right? Number 3 is improve. Not only improve yourself, but improve the skill set of your child. Always be trying to do more and be more. We can all be better people, and we have to be there and supportive for our children. So make sure that we're always improving every single day. Number 4 is learn from our mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We make mistakes every single day. Make sure that you're learning a lesson from them, good or bad. It's all about experience and experiences. That equals growth, right? And number 5, give your kids space to move. Make their own decisions. Create their own opinions. Go and live out some idea or thought that they want. Maybe they want to be a certain type of fireman or something. Let them, explore that path in life and see what happens. We can guide them, but in reality, It's their life. They have the right to live it the way they want. Give them a little space. If you know that they're going to crash into the bush, you got to say, hey, you're going to crash into the bush. And then guess what? You're probably too far away to save them. They're going to crash into the bush. So what's your job then? Go and dig them out of the bush and, scrape them off and let them try again. Get back on the bike and try to ride it for another day, right? So I hope these 5 ways to enjoy the journey of parenthood have helped you, have kind of just opened your eyes to, take a step back and have some fun with your kids or your grandkids today or the next time that you see them. Remember that you can grab a free copy of my book. It will help you to create better habits, to change the ones that you hate. Oh, you gotta lose weight. You're always late for something. You're unorganized or slappy or whatever. It's really easier than you think. A lot of times our own thoughts and obstacles get in our way, and it's always us. We are the limitation. Grab yourself a free copy. It's at thehabitformulabook.com. You can also upgrade, and I'll walk you through each step. So go to thehabitformulabook.com. Also, if you want to catch the podcast for the Lunchtime with the Habit Master show, you can catch us on iTunes and Spotify. And then also, I've got a YouTube channel. It's called Habit Master. There's tons of videos. I'm just going to be recording another 8 videos. I did 3 this weekend, so catch them out because they're new and they're not on Facebook. So catch it out. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that's it for me for Mommy Mondays. Thanks for watching, and let's build good habits together.